Hello and welcome to MCC Second Season TV International Show. My name is John David and I'm the Business Department Coordinator and the Economics and Statistics Instructor here. And also I host this show. From time to time, I'd like to remind the audience with the goals and objectives of this show. Remember, from day one, we said that the show major objective is to introduce our MCC international students to the community and introduce also the community to our MCC international students. And from time to time, as you know, in previous shows, I decided also to host some people from the college and or the district office to talk about international programs and international activities that we are working on from time to time. Today's show, we go back to hosting an international students. With that, I would like to introduce that student. Her name is Katya Carr from Germany. Katya, it's good to have you here with us on this show.
Thank you, John. It's glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you here. Well, I would like to start the show about Germany and about things that you used to do in your native country, Germany. So let's start, and if you can go back and just share with us some of the things that you used to do in Germany while they're in school, for example, or while you are with your family, friends, and so on.
Well, the schools in Germany, at least back then, were quite different from what you might be used to here. We didn't have a football team for the school or a prom. We would get a disco dance every now and then, and we could get to, just like the ones that they sponsor here at the Y. But other than that, it seems like the students here in the States have more fun when they're in school than we did back then. It was straight learning and not really all that much fun to, participate in any extracurricular activities. The one thing that I really appreciated in going, it was called a graduation trip, but we did it on the junior year of our school. We got to go to England for a week, for 5 days, and we lived, each student paired up with another one, and we got to live with one of the English families there. We didn't get to go to the schools as far as an exchange student goes, but we got to see all the sights and Madame Tussauds wax cabinet and the palace, of course, just Westminster Abbey, all these neat things. And I was, I believe, 14, 15 at the time, so I remember a lot of that.
Okay, well, based on what you just said, that means if I go back and ask you, how did you spend your day in Germany after school? For example, you go in the morning to school till afternoon, early afternoon, then what's next? It would be
until about 1 o'clock, 1:30, and then at least once or twice a week we would have afternoon school where we'd have to go back for 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
And during those times we would spend our lunch hours with my grandma, which was closer to school than our home, and then go back until 3:30, 4 o'clock. But that was only once or twice a week.
Okay, beside that, what did you do? I mean, let's say in the afternoon, in the evening.
After school, do my chores, do my homework, run and go to a friend's house, or we would meet. We had a little mini mall close to our home. We would meet there and run around town, ride our bikes, go to the playground. The usual kid stuff.
Okay.
But as far as, like in my later teen years, 17, 18, I was working already and time was kind of slim to really spend time with my friends. I was working a lot of nights and such.
Well, Katya, if you can look into, and I don't know if you have any idea about the school system here in the United States or not, but if you have, can you compare the schools in Germany with the schools here in the United States? For example, here in Muscatine, if you hear from people talking about the schools, do you see like they are similar, they are different? If they are different, in what way?
It seemed like our schools were stricter.
You mean in Germany?
Their rules, yes. Mm-hmm.
Like what do you mean by stricter?
It didn't seem like, I mean, it could be just from my perspective, remembering as a child. I can't really go and really say how was it for you, how do you feel about this. But it seems like the relationship between the teachers and the students are a little more relaxed than they were when I was a kid with the German teachers there.
Okay. And where did you learn English? I mean, did you learn English in Germany also?
Yes, I learned English in Germany. They actually start teaching you English in 3rd grade.
Ah, okay. So at early stages.
Yes, I think that since they consider it the European language, since we have Italy and France and Russia also close by that we interact with business-wise, they taught us English starting early on.
Okay, now back to Germany. If we can look into some of the traditions and the cultures, for example, in Germany, can you give me an idea about a tradition and or a culture or certain cultural things that you used to do in Germany that, for example, you don't do here in the United States, or you don't have a chance to practice it here in the United States?
For instance, our Fasching doesn't really get celebrated here. You could possibly compare Halloween to it, but our Fasching is celebrated after winter, not in October like here. And we go around in costumes, and we have little lanterns, and we sing songs to kind of, I think it was to scare the winter spirits away.
Okay.
To have spring come.
Do you get any candy with that or no?
No, you don't really get candy.
You don't get candy, right?
No, you didn't get candy, but it was a lot of fun, and the kids still look forward to it because we got to dress up and
you're
held our
talking
little lanterns. They had little candles in them. It's just beautiful, and it was a get together with family and cousins. And
so you're talking about more like adults does that stuff more than
no, it's not
kids?
a dance.
Or,
it was just
both?
singing songs as we walked through the neighborhood.
Okay, wow. That's a different thing. So I never heard of that, so I'm learning something here on this show today. So thanks for sharing. What else? For example, traditions. Do you have certain traditions that, for example, you try to keep at home, for example, here in the U.S.?
I've been here in the States for the last 20 years, and it's almost getting, without having any other family here, it's almost hard to do that. You kind of adapt to your surroundings. I've had American roommates living with me, or vice versa, and it's just, it kind of gets lost. Especially since I didn't have my son until I was in my mid-20s, so I was already accustomed to a lot of those things. I do share our culture and such with my son, and I tell him about the things that we do and don't do. But as far as between being a single parent and working a lot, it's almost hard to always remember, oh yeah, that was that day when I should have done this.
Yeah.
It's like on December 6th, Saint Nick comes to us, and we put our boots outside the door. And if you've been good, you would get a stick and some coals, and if you were good, you would get nuts and oranges and candy and a small present. That is one thing that I've always meant to pass on to my son and do it with him, but before I'd even remember, it was past that night.
And this is a tradition that you really practice in Germany till now. So people in Germany does that. Let's say on December 6th, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My mom
Wow.
did it with us every year.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. When you start hearing stories, about different cultures, and it's really amazing because you learn a lot about those traditions and cultures. And remember, we do have really a big community of German people here in Muscatine, and I don't know if you communicate with any of them or you know any of them or something like that. But soon, in a little bit, our producer Chad Bishop will start rolling some pictures from Germany on the screen. And as a result of that, if it's possible, if you can start telling us, for example, things about the pictures. What do we see? What's important about this place and all that stuff. So which will be a good thing to start with, as a matter of fact. And I see on the screen now the German flag. So you want to tell us something about that?
Yeah, the German flag was actually the colors did mean something. They go all the way back to Napoleon's conflict as his French forces during 1803 and 1815. They were symbolized as in black, red, and gold. A lot of people say yellow, but we significantly say it's gold. And at that time, the colors represented out of the blackness, which the black color, of servitude through bloody battles to the golden light of freedom. So it was somewhat, it has, you know, it has some history to it, and we stuck with it.
Okay, so when we look into the second picture and then find out what we see now.
That is one of my favorite castles that I got to go to when I was a teenager.
Where in Germany?
Parents. That is actually in Bavaria, Germany. It's, to us, it's Bavaria is a free state, but it's really part of Germany. It is in the village of Schwangau.
Okay.
It was built in the 19th century. It was the residence of King Ludwig II.
Okay, and is it like now, beside it's a castle and a tourist place, do they have like a museum inside it or something like that, or you know,
you can still see. When I went, I'm not sure what it looks like today, years and years later, but it still has the original furniture in it, how the king and queen lived back then. And it actually has, really close by, it has a second castle that is Schloss Neuschwanstein, which is actually more beautiful. It looks like the same one.
Yeah, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
They're so close together, you could almost throw a rock into the other's yard.
Wow.
And that one was built by, it was built by King Ludwig. He grew up in the previous castle, and he built this one when he was an adult. It was, I have to kind of read my notes here, I can't remember it all. It was basically built from pure fantasy of his. By the time he built it, it didn't really have a necessity like the forestries and excuse me, the castles and fortresses had. But they're very famous, and a lot of people go to them.
Amazing, amazing things. Okay, what do we see now?
This is the Zugspitze. It is a very prominent place to go skiing. You could probably find people from all over the country there to go skiing.
Okay.
The Zugspitze has the highest mountains. They're up to 2,962 meters above sea level.
Oh, wow. It's good. Look at that.
This is the Kölner Cathedral. Have you not ever seen a picture of it?
Well, I did, but not really with the lights and like the bridge in front of it. No, I did not, to be honest with you. This amazing picture.
The official name for it is the Hohe Domkirche St. Peter and Maria, or we usually call it the Kölner Dom. It's a Roman Catholic church. They began to build it in 1248, but it didn't end until 1880. They didn't finish it until there were interruptions in there. Yeah. But until the completion of the Washington Monument, it was the tallest structure in all of the world.
Wow. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, I like the lights, the yellow lights, the greenish, bluish color. I mean, it's amazing. Amazing. Okay, what do we see now?
That is the Brandenburger Tor in Berlin. I actually got to see that after the wall came down. My parents and I went to Berlin. My stepdad had connections there through work.
So if you don't mind me asking, I mean, you were living in the western part of Germany?
Yes.
Okay. So and the first time you went into the eastern part is after the Berlin Wall fall? Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good.
So that is, Hagenbeck Zoo. It's in Hamburg. It's actually not all too far from where I was born. It was founded all the way back in 1848 by Carl Hagenbeck, who was Hagenbeck Sr., who was actually an amateur animal collector. And the park itself was founded by his son in 1907. And it was the first known zoo that didn't have the enclosures as in cages. They used moats, like, I'm not sure if everybody knows what moats are, but they're basically canals in the ground that are usually filled with water to keep the animals in their surroundings.
Oh, okay. What is?
That is Rummelbergplatz. That is located in Frankfurt. A lot of people would probably recognize Frankfurt. It's got an international airport, and a lot of people stop there and fly elsewhere. And the 6 buildings you see there in the picture, they actually had to be rebuilt after World War II. It's actually a square they consider medieval. It goes way back to the medieval times. And that's one thing I like about Germany. It is so into historical places, and they don't mind spending the money to restore it and keep it up. You see it everywhere you go. It's really beautiful. And
I agree with you. I mean, I have been to Frankfurt twice, and each time it's just a weekend from Friday till Sunday. And I always like, I always like the time that I spend in Frankfurt. It's beautiful. I mean, the people are nice. The places that you see, it's really nice. It's nice to be there, and hopefully I will get to have a chance again to go back and see other places again in Germany, not just Frankfurt, because I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, from the pictures that we are seeing here, it's really beautiful. I mean, you can tell. Okay, amazing. So what do we see now?
That is yet another favorite place of mine. It is called the Schwarzwald Black Forest. It is actually only about 30-40 minutes from the last home I lived in. Not the town I was born in, but the home I lived in. It has beautiful, beautiful waterfalls, hiking trails. It is known for some of the not only longest, but beautiful. I mean, the waterfalls, they're breathtaking. I wish I had a picture of those. Mm-hmm. But I got to go, I think I was 17, 18. I got to go, and we would hike through the trails, and the streams are really clear and beautiful, and the waterfalls are just breathtaking. You stand there and you look up and you just, can I just get up there?
Yeah, nature is amazing. Yeah.
This is Rheinland-Pfalz. I would have to say that it is probably one of my parents' or my mom's favorite places. This is our wine country. Out of all I think Germany all in all has 13 wineries, mm-hmm. and 6 out of those are located here. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful place. You can go to each winery and do your wine tastings, and my parents actually would go now at least once a year, and they would bring home 3-4 cases of wine that my mom would prefer. It's a really beautiful place, and it's just gorgeous. That yet is another very memorable place for me. This is where I learned how to ski when I was 13. This is Stubaital. And it's actually part of Austria, which I kind of consider part of Germany. It is so close. It is so, it didn't take us long to get there. And what was great was we stayed in a hotel that had, it was basically halfway up the glacier. You would walk outside the hotel with your skis on or your ski boots on. You would snap on your skis, and the lift was right there to take going up. And it was gorgeous. I actually went back on my honeymoon.
Wow.
To this place. It's wonderful. It's a great place to learn skiing. It has easy ski slopes. It has hard, extreme ski slopes, and it's wonderful.
Thank you.
This is the Daimler-Benz Chrysler work in Sindelfingen. Sindelfingen is my place of birth. This is where I was born. And I've always remembered the Daimler-Benz, not just by going by the company itself. That is all you see people drive in Sindelfingen. They all have a Mercedes-Benz. All the employees, they would do their leases per year, and it is one of the largest automobile companies in Germany.
Yeah.
Besides Porsche and BMW, and this one was right in my hometown.
Oh,
This is a picture of a Weihnachtsmarkt. I'm not quite sure where it was taken. I just saw it, and it took me back to living in Germany, going to these Christmas markets. You can see crafts, handmade crafts, others, if it was ornaments for Christmas, wreaths. There's all kinds of food there, and it's especially wonderful if once it has snowed, and it gives you that Christmas feeling. But you can find all kinds of things and you see how many people are there. And if you're missing it, even if you're just missing a small present for someone, you can find something there. It's a really neat place to go. The most favorite thing I think I liked was something you could buy food-wise, and it was called Germknödel. It is actually a baked or steamed, battered kind of you can't even call it pasty. It's really hard to explain. It was warm. They kept it in steamed up canisters, and they would put a homemade vanilla sauce over it, and there was something on the inside too. And I can't quite remember what, but that was always something I had to have when I went. It's a homemade good that they sold there every year. It never missed.
Well, Katya, first of all, thanks a lot for sharing all these beautiful pictures and also the information that you shared with me and the audience about, all these pictures. I mean, and I can tell, they are gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous. Every picture means a lot, I'm sure, to you. So thanks for sharing this information with us. Now, I want to move a little bit and ask you about, okay, here, you are at MCC right now. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience at MCC? What do you study? What's your major? What are your plans after finishing MCC?
Well, my studies really go towards business administration. And I actually started going to MCC 3-4 years ago, and I chose to take a break then because my son was still rather small and he wanted to do things with me. I'm coming here as a student full-time now. I'm hoping to go back to a 4-year college part-time and work full-time to finish my bachelor's, at least my bachelor's degree for business administration.
And how do you like it at MCC?
Oh, I love it here. The teachers are wonderful.
Tell us, like,
are
you involved with any student activities? Do you participate in activities? I mean, for example, if there is like an activity sponsored by Senate or Diversity Day or whatsoever, do you try to be there and see or watch or participate in things like that besides, the classroom?
I try to come to certain involvements that they offer here, but it's really time related for me. I wish I could really engage into something like that. Between my family is my son, but between my son and work and studies I haven't really found the time yet to really concentrate on engaging on something like that.
Okay, what do you think about Muscatine? I mean, as a community?
Muscatine as a community, I think I like living here, but I think we really need to bring some things back for our teens and children. A lot of the things I haven't even gotten to see that Muscatine used to have, like the zoo or the ice skating rink or whatever else they had. A lot of things were just shut down, and the kids really don't know what to do anymore.
So Katya, what do you do in your free time? I mean, I know you are busy, you're a single mom. I mean, between college, between work, between taking care of the house and your son and so on. But you still, I mean, if you have free time, what do you do with that free time?
You can usually, unless it's cold, like the winters here in Iowa, you can usually find me outside. If it's a bonfire, if it's barbecue, go on a trail and hike somewhere. I spend a lot of my time with my friends.
So I want to go back. So you are saying that you are majoring in business and you are taking some classes. How many more classes do you need to take in order to finish your associate degree in business from MCC before, of course, you move somewhere else to get your bachelor degree?
I'll be done this May.
This May, wow, wow, that's really good. So, this is your last semester, that means, here with us.
Yes, unfortunately. I'll have to come visit you.
Well, you still can come and visit, and you still can come also and take some classes from time to time, even, summertime or something like that, and transfer that again to your 4 years college and or university. I always, as I mentioned before, I enjoyed having you in my classes also. I mean, you bring a lot to the classroom, especially to, some of these classrooms that you only find like 18, 19 years old students. And here you see a couple non-traditional students that makes really a difference and adds a lot to the discussion and to the classroom environment. So really, I really thank you for that too. Well, Katya, if I would like to give you a minute and ask you to say whatever you want to say with it. So it's your minute. So
it's my minute.
Yeah.
My start a minute of fame. I've really enjoyed. I've struggled sometimes with the decision to get a degree in something because it was a time factor, being a single mom and such. But I'm really glad that I have made a decision to come back and finish. It gives me a great feeling of confidence and accomplishment. And I've had really some great experiences here with the teachers and the students, and I've really learned, I've grown a lot and learned a lot.
Well, I'm glad. First of all, thank you a lot for being on my show today. It's, you added a lot to my personal knowledge about Germany, and also I'm sure you added a lot to our audience knowledge also about your native country, Germany. As you see, every time we add another episode of MCC TV International show, and every time we host another student here, we definitely are gaining more and more information about other countries and about other cultures and other traditions. So I'm hoping that this show is adding to your knowledge about, traditions and cultures in other countries and in other places around the globe. As I always say, if you have a question and or comments, you can call me at 563-288-6064, or you can email me at jdebate@eicc.edu. Till next time, Muscatine. Bye-bye.